Hello folks, and welcome to another game of Planetary Annihilation here at PAX. We've got a lot of planets in this system here. And I'm joined by Mike Robbins, also known as Sorian, from the UberDev team.
Yeah, let's get this started. Let's find out where everybody decides to spawn.
So in this particular system we've got 5 planets. We've got 1 metal planet. We also have a sort of deserty planet over here if we shift to that one. Following that, we also have a moon, and following that, a gas giant, which is another new addition to Planetary Annihilation, and a lava planet as well.
Yeah, gas giants are really cool. You can't land any units on the surface of a gas giant. What you can do is put units in orbit to mine this gas giant of resources.
That is definitely a crucial point for the teams and players to get those resources, because in Planetary Annihilation you have 2 resources. If we look at the other planets here as the players spawn in, apparently 1 blue team member has spawned in on this deserty water planet here, but you see around these little green squares, these are metal points, and of course you have your 2 resources in Planetary Annihilation, metal and energy, and these are streaming rather than stockpiled.
So pretty interesting spawn locations for each team. We've got 1 blue player on PAX Prime all by himself. On the moon, we have 1 player from each team, so we'll see some action there here pretty soon. And this moon is also a smashable moon. If you build 2 planetary engines on this moon, you can smash it into another planet, causing utter destruction, possibly destroying the planet completely.
And that'll be a lot of pain and a lot of annoyance for the other team if they do that.
Indeed. On the lava planet, we've got the 3rd blue player. Looks like he's going to try to go orbital rather quickly so that he can start moving units off of that planet and start colonizing some of these other planets. And we have 2 orange team members that have decided to start right next to each other so they can kind of consolidate their forces, but it also means that they don't get to expand and build up on this planet as quickly.
They are going for an advanced vehicle factory there really early on indeed, so obviously they want to get out a lot of advanced tier units and possibly some advanced fabricators as well, so they can build up bigger and better economy structures and infrastructure for their base defense. So briefly looking over at this metal planet, just to explain a new feature into Planetary Annihilation is the Annihilator. On the North Pole there are these little blue squares. Now if you build catalysts, which are nodes, control nodes, on these, and you have all 5 of them, you can attain control of the Annihilator and use the metal planet as a massive super weapon to utterly obliterate any other planet in the system. So it's crucial that players actually make a play for this metal planet before the other team.
Absolutely, you do not want to be on the receiving end of that Annihilator. That is for certain.
Now, blue on the desert planet here, alone, and I think once they've realized that with all the air scouting, they're going to really expand really fast, and obviously they're getting up here an orbital launcher. Now, something in Planetary Annihilation, this is obvious, it's no longer a flat map. You've got 360 degrees of approach on a sphere, and of course you also have to transit through other planets in your system using those orbital units.
Looks like we got some action going down on the moon already, as predicted. A little harassment from blue.
That's great to see, because of course if you keep your opponent from expanding with their economy, then of course you keep them at bay in terms of their ability to produce a larger military force. But the commander is here from Orange Team. He's a really good early game unit. He's fired off an Uber cannon there, which does a lot of damage and an area of effect as well. He can take a whole bunch of hits, and he's also quite good at building things as well.
Yeah, if one of those Uber cannons landed in the middle of those tanks would cease to exist.
That is almost certainly true. Another thing about the commanders, in Planetary Annihilation your commander is almost like your kingpin. If you lose him, you're out of the game. However, we have got a 3 versus 3 scenario here in a shared armies situation, whereby effectively now you have 3 commanders and therefore 3 lives.
Orange started putting down a teleporter, but then decided not to continue it. I thought maybe he was going to try to get some units from another planet onto this planet to help defend, or at least get his commander off planet.
Yeah, that would be really important for him to do. Now, something you'll notice here, as he hadn't been building that, it was starting to lose health. if you build a building and don't finish it and then stop building it, after a while it will begin to decay and you'll lose and waste all the resources you invested in that building. But now we do see a pincer movement from blue units now, tanks on either side, moving in on the orange base. This laser defense tower is going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but not too much, as those Infernos can tank a lot of damage, and those tanks actually have a range to take it down before too much damage is dealt. The commander there desperately trying to get off planet. Unfortunately, looks as though he might have built that teleporter a little bit too close to that factory as he struggles to squeeze through the gap. He's now finding himself on the wrong side of the teleporter. As those vehicles close in, he's losing a fair amount of health to those Infernos, which are a really close range unit, which do a lot of damage. It looks as though he's just about going to get away.
Clutch play.
I wonder where he's going, perhaps to the lava planet. Let's have a look down on the South Pole. That is not the case. He hasn't arrived on the lava planet, not on the metal planet either, nor the desert planet, so it's quite possible. In fact, in which case, where has he landed?
I'm looking for him.
Ah, there's the teleporter. It looks as though he might have... Yeah, there he is. He's on the lava planet, I believe.
Oh, did they have a second teleporter? Oh, okay, there he is.
Blue, meanwhile, on the lava planet, doing a little bit of a colony expansion there, building up some units as well, and a little proxy base over to the west of their original. And they can use this to push down with a whole bunch of more units to this orange base. Now, the thing with proxy bases is it vastly reduces the movement time between bases for your units. So they're a really good strategic option for the later game.
Interesting. On PAX Prime, they're putting down an advanced air factory. They're also putting down a teleporter. I think he's realized that he's on the planet by himself, and he's going to start sending help, or should start sending help, to the lava planet.
It's incredibly important because, of course, that other player is there on the lava planet, and there are now 3 orange commanders on the lava planet to oppose him, who can now really start getting a lot of military and a little bit of offense going against the blue players there.
Yeah, blue systematically wiping orange off of the moon. He's only got 2 fabricators and now 1 factory left on the moon. It looks like blue is just going to take over the moon. Oh! Orange with the Vanguards taking out one of blue's commanders.
Oh wow, we missed that. So let's use one of Planetary Annihilation's really cool features here. It's called ChronoCam, and you can use it at any time in the game, spectating or playing, and you can go back through time and see something that you did miss. And of course here it's really important because these Vanguards have a lot of health but do a lot of damage if they get in close. And obviously here the commander gallantly trying to defend himself but losing a little bit too much as blue team will have their attention paid elsewhere, and down he goes.
These orange Vanguards doing some damage. Tier 2 units, a lot of health, and a lot of close-range DPS.
It's going to be a lot of damage, although they are still moving around. The blue units desperately trying to sort of clamber back whatever they can, but of course now blue have lost a commander. That means there are 2 commanders remaining and 3 orange commanders remaining, although 1 is rather injured.
Blue's got units going through a teleporter, but I can't see where they're headed.
Looks as though they might have been going to the metal planet.
Oh, I missed the teleporter. That is indeed correct. They have a teleporter on the metal planet.
Now, the metal planet is important, as we said earlier, by attaining these annihilators. ZaphodX calling a GG there. Did we miss something else? Quite possible. I don't think we did, but there's a lot of big bad units from Orange on the lava planet, as they did have all of those commanders together, and earlier in the game they did rush out some really advanced tier units. So now we just have Vanguards here sweeping into a base that is relatively undefended from the blue team, as it seemed as though they were moving all of their reinforcements either to the wrong side of the planet or to the moon.
Yeah, blue really needs to think about getting down a teleporter and retreating to the metal planet.
Yeah, of course, they can relink the teleporters to any other teleporter end they have, but they can get their commander through a teleporter if he just builds one. Unfortunately, these Vanguards are getting in a little bit too close for comfort here, as they do a lot of damage to that commander. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to defend against these Vanguards, as there are now 3 knocking on his head, and down he goes. A second commander lost, 14 blue, which means they are only 1 commander left. A against Orange's 3. As you said, Blue really need to get off this planet now. Unfortunately, however, they are still on the desert planet with no congestion whatsoever.
Yeah, that blue commander is going to be safe for a while.
Sort of sat there in the water, assisting out an advanced air factory, building whatever it wants to. But of course, Blue on this planet really needs to start getting their skates on and getting some military action going to oppose Orange on their own planets. But in the picture-in-picture here, which is Planetary Annihilation's answer to the mini-map, we can see that some other stuff is happening on the lava planets, and we can swap between them. You can use this also whether playing or spectating.
Yeah, even though the commander got wiped out on this planet, they still have a military presence, and they're still going to make that presence known.
Yeah, so until all of your commanders are gone, you can control whatever you have, especially in a shared army scenario. There's no individual control of units. Everything is shared, army and economy as well. But unfortunately, these advanced tier gunships here, missile gunships, have taken out that blue incursion force. However, it does appear as though there is a small amount ready to push in again with these, which are spinners. They're basically vehicle anti-air units, which hopefully the Hornets, which are these things, won't get a little bit too close to those. But if they do, they will come under some fire.
Blue's starting to get their Tech 2 factories up on the moon. So hopefully they'll be able to start building up a Tech 2 army and be able to move it through teleporters to other planets and start taking them over that way. They have this moon to themselves, uncontested.
Yeah, of course, when you have any planet to yourself uncontested, you can lock down on any economy and build up military constantly. However, the moon is even more important because you can build engines on this moon, and then you can send it careering through the rest of the system into any enemy base that you so choose, causing a big explosion.
Yeah, Blue has an orbital launcher on PAX Prime. I'm surprised they're not building orbital fabbers with it, except for their energy economy being stalled, like really bad.
Yeah, in the top left there you can see the pull down, the economy tab. It's also got an army tab there indicating how many factories and units it has, each team have. But the economy tab there, blue indicates you are floating resources, indicating that you are exceeding your storage capacity. Red indicates that you are spending far too much compared to what you're getting in, and you have depleted your storage capacity, leaving you with the result of slower building. Which is why it's really important to hit your opponent's economy structures, because that is where it hurts hardest, especially if they're building big later game units.
Yeah, they really need to get their energy economy fixed, and they've got 2 planets to themselves to do it, but I don't see anybody working on... they're working on a little bit of the Tier 1 energy, but that's a drop in the bucket for how much they are negative.
Yeah. Although they do actually have sole influence over the metal planet, even though it is a very small influence over the metal planet, they are beginning to get up some factories there, air factories they are. The teleporter has been deactivated. I think it might be wise to get the commander onto this metal planet to really assist out those buildings and get them built a lot faster.
Agreed, but they'd have to fix their energy economy or stop building out of their factories, because teleporters won't work if your energy economy is that far negative.
Yeah, that is really important, and of course, even on the lava planet now, we see even more orange units pushing in on Blue's base, doing a lot of damage from various different directions as these Hornets just lay siege to all of these factories. So not only is their economy hurting, but their ability to produce units is also going to be depleted as well later into this game.
Yeah, they are so outgunned on this planet because they have no Tier 2 factories.
They have no Tier 2 factories, and they only have 1 commander playing against 3 on a distant planet as well. So it might be wise to just abandon this planet altogether, start afresh and hurry stuff out on the moon, the desert planet and the metal planet.
Looks like Blue finally got their energy economy going the right direction.
And the teleporter is linked to the metal planet there, although it is fluctuating a bit. Looks as though they do still need a few more power generators. But looking at the orange base now on the lava planet, let's have a look at what they're doing. They've got a lot of advanced vehicle factories here as well. A few bot fabricators there laying idle. Those could be put to good use, building extra economy or base infrastructure. And indeed, they also have a second teleporter here and a lot of other factories as well, constantly producing even more units, which are putting on a lot of pressure to Blue's expansions remaining on lava, which unfortunately they really can't defend against, as the rest of their base just falls.
Yeah, if they really want to save the lava planet, they need to start building more Tier 2 factories on PAX Prime or on the laser planet and start sending them through a teleporter, because without Tier 2 units, they can't stand up to this assault.
That's definitely going to be a problem. But Orange, what they can do now is they can start working on nuclear missiles, which they can send over to Blue's remaining bases. But of course, if we look up Blue's remaining bases, I don't think we shall see any anti-nuclear capabilities whatsoever. We do here see a deep space orbital radar, which allows you to have intelligence over anything in the orbital layer on the other planets, providing you have the energy to run it. But again, they do have those teleporters as well, but their energy is now back in the clear as they are getting out all of these advanced power generators, which was a really good move for them.
Orange has a teleporter. Oh, they're going from one side of their base to the other. Okay. I don't see teams use the teleporters on the same planet very much.
Yeah, I mean, it tends to be more of a sort of mid to late game use of the teleporters on the same planet, because sort of early game you're putting all of your economy into producing a lot of units rather than moving them about rapidly, because that's under the assumption that your enemy doesn't have all that many units either. So as long as you can defend yourself, then you can rebuild as well. But at this point, Orange, all they need to do is knock Blue off this planet as fast as they can so that they can really capitalize down on the eco.
Yeah, it looks like Blue has two now, only 2 fabricators left on this planet. Once those are gone, then Blue has no capability of building up anything else on this planet. And judging from the fact that the units are no longer moving, I think they've given up on this planet completely.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, especially if we look on the metal planet here. We can see a few advanced air factories going on. Now what these can produce are advanced fabricators, which they are doing there, and what they can do is they have superior movement speed to the ground fabricators, the bot and the vehicle and the naval ones, and they can fly straight lines as well, directly over the poles and over impassable areas to ground units. But more importantly, advanced fabricators can build these catalysts on these control nodes at the North Pole, allowing the Blue team, should they get all 5 under their control, the use of the Annihilator.
I really want to see another Annihilator today.
That would be really cool, because the Annihilator, you don't throw the planet into another one, you just launch a massive laser beam through the rest of the system from afar. And if your opponent is unsuspecting, their planet's sort of gone, and then they sort of blink and don't really realize what's happened.
Blue has an orbital fabricator headed to the gas giant, so they can start building up orbital mining platforms and start mining this gas giant for resources.
Yeah, we see it's just arrived there, so let's see what they decide to do with this. They could get some orbital defenses or indeed those resources. It looks as though they're building an orbital factory as well to produce additional orbital units on that planet.
Nuclear missile launcher going down on the moon for Blue.
On the moon for Blue, and a nuclear missile defense as well in various locations. They have got a lot of economy on this moon, so should they decide to launch it into any other planet, they will lose all of that economy. So it looks as though they are not deciding to launch the moon at this time, though they do also have control of the metal planet.
Yeah, that's a really tough decision on whether or not to smash a moon. Losing all those resources, if you don't win the game from that blow, that can actually hurt you and cause you to lose.
Yeah, it's definitely an all-or-nothing strategy in some situations. Almost certainly.
In their situation, it's not so much, because they have control over like 3 planets.
And more importantly, Orange only have control of 1 planet, and they are reasonably localized on it as well, so the damage that moon impact can do would probably take out a reasonable portion of Orange's base here, possibly even killing a good couple or 3 even commanders.
Absolutely, I think in this case that would be a fair trade.
Indeed it would. Of course, if you lose all your economy and win the game, hey, you still won the game.
That's right. More advanced air factories going down on the metal planet.
Wow, that's a lot of advance.
I don't see the catalyst starting yet, but there's no reason that they can't. But there's a lot of movement from the air fabbers.
There's a lot of movement from air fabbers. More importantly, there's a lot of air fabbers there. So they've got a huge amount of build power. There they go, moving off. Let's have a look in holding down shift. We can see what they have queued up there. That's a lot of metal and a lot of storage as well. Now,
that is a lot of resources they're building.
That is a lot of resources they're building. Now, you'll notice that the planet has sort of gone a shade of blue, and there's this green circle here as well. These are advanced command and control features in Planetary Annihilation, whereby you can click and drag area patrols or area build commands or even area attack commands, and your units will just go and do what they need to do without you having to micro them all the time. Looking back at the gas giant here, we can see that that orbital factory has been completed, and they are now building a little anchor there, which is an orbital turret of sorts, which can defend against the orbital layer and also shoot down at the ground layer beneath it, which is a really good harassment technique and also a reasonably good fortifying technique as well for front lines.
And all of a sudden, there's all kinds of orbital activity. Orange is sending radars everywhere to try to find out what Blue's up to. And looks like we've got some Avengers and some orbital fabbers headed towards, what is this little planet down here? The metal planet.
It is a metal planet, so Blue obviously trying to reinforce that metal planet. Let's have a quick look there in the picture-in-picture and see whether they've started those catalysts. They could really start those catalysts, but as you saw with that build queue, they're just going ahead and doing all of that. But what they can do with all of this build power is put it to good use for those catalysts, but with this build power, they're building things really super fast. But the thing is, when you build a catalyst, you also alert your opponent to the fact that you are, because they can be seen through the fog of war. So it is a little bit of a give and take scenario as to whether you have the build power to get them all up super fast, or whether you want to gradually do it, but also give your opponent that intel and that window to respond.
Orange is sending an orbital fabber to PAX Prime. I imagine they're going to try to throw down a teleporter quickly and start flooding that planet with units.
Yeah, they've got a good few radars there, so they're getting a good bit of intelligence. Let's have a look from their point of view to see what they can actually see there. So they've got a lot of vision radius and a few radar blips as well. Unfortunately, however, they are fluctuating in energy, so those vision ranges and radar are sort of fluctuating.
Nuke launch from Blue.
Somewhat. Nuke launched from Blue.
Going to the lava planet.
Going to the lava planet. Let's have a quick look there. Wow, it's just arrived. Could we see a nuclear detonation here? Having a quick look in the base, I don't see any anti-nuclear missiles. There is an injured commander in there as well. Let's see what this is going to hit. Be at the center of the base. The second nuke arrives as well. This is going to do a lot of damage to this orange base. A lot of units and eco go down in that first explosion. Let's see where the second one hits. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as though it's going to hit anything.
The two factory.
Oh wow, it just survives with 7% of its health and increasing there. But unfortunately, they didn't hit the commander, and more importantly, they didn't scout ahead and get the intel they needed to more accurately place those nukes, because they have just used a lot of resources on not a huge amount of damage, relatively.
Absolutely. Orange taking the hint, starting to throw down an anti-nuke. They have a nuclear missile launcher of their own that is currently in the process of building a nuke, unassisted. But yeah, they start throwing down anti-nukes all over their base.
Yeah, that's definitely a wake-up call for them. Let's have a look back on the metal planet and see whether they are building those catalysts yet. Unfortunately, they are not building those catalysts yet. They are still getting the economy, because if you look in the top left, they aren't blue all the time, so they don't necessarily have what they need to really focus down on those catalysts, but they do have a lot of advanced fabricators now and a lot of air fabbers from the basic tier as well. Looks as though they're all conglomerating back together, so this could be the moment we start seeing that catalyst produced. Although it looks as though they have queued up an anti-nuclear silo there of their own to make sure they defend those catalysts as they build them from any nuclear attack.
Absolutely. Anchor going up on PAX Prime from Orange as a radar and another orbital fabber arrive. I imagine we'll be seeing a teleporter here soon.
And also an incursion from Orange thereafter.
Oh.
But right beneath, we see an umbrella going up from Blue. Now, this is a ground-to-orbital turret, which does a huge amount of damage to anything that it manages to hit. As we see there, the teleporter going up.
Teleporter going down.
Get linked in time. The anchor, not the anchor, sorry, the umbrella not quite finished. The fabricator's going over to reclaim that teleporter just in the nick of time as it got linked.
Oh, I think they gave up.
There's the umbrella completed as it starts to hail into the orbit there, taking out the fabricators, making sure they can't do anything, taking out the anchor, and the orbital radar flees for its life.
Yep, that incursion is over.
Get off my land, says ZaphodX. He doesn't want anybody in his house. They are uninvited over there. Another radar just arrives over
another
the top
nuke in the air.
Oh, really? Where's that going to, I wonder?
Looks like it's headed for the lava planet yet again.
They do appear to have some intelligence. Where is it going to land? It's open now next to a commander. Unfortunately, it's moving in the wrong direction, heading towards an anti-nuke. However,
an unloaded anti-nuke.
An unloaded anti-nuke. That hit. The commander just survives. Commanders can survive a single nuclear explosion, providing they are on high enough health. He now runs away. He doesn't want to sit there. It's getting a little bit hot for him.
That's terribly unfortunate. They rush-built the anti-nuke, but did not rush the anti-nuke missile.
Yeah, that's really important. And also, all of these anchors laying siege to this teleporter, making sure that Orange really can't do very much about it. Still having a look on the metal planet in the picture-in-picture there, we see a catalyst constructed, and a lot of anti-nukes there assisted as well. As the catalyst is complete, they'll start now producing all the other catalysts so that they can use the super laser against the lava planet should they so wish, although they do appear to need a little bit more power, so they're diverting their build power sufficiently so. Back on the moon, another nuclear missile rather, is just launched as we arrive there. They're getting assisted down with a few fabbers there as well, so that's probably what's eating up all of their eco. So let's have a look back over the lava planet where that nuclear missile is about to hit. Probably going for the same space, although let's have a look at what Blue can actually see from their perspective.
Orange actually has a nuclear missile launcher with a finished nuke, but they have not launched it yet. 2 finished nukes.
Here comes the nuke now. Where is this gonna hit? Looks as though it might do a bit of damage to
metal extractors.
Yeah.
It took out some metal extractors, not much.
But they seem to really love nuking that single spot, don't they? They've got an itch and they want to get rid of it.
Apparently. Yeah, I don't know why they have 2 nukes loaded and they are not launching anything.
They probably need the intelligence first. However, we've now got a lot of umbrellas going up from the Orange player, trying to get rid of all of these turrets in space, and a lot of Avengers also are coming to assist in that campaign.
They are doing a good job of clearing those out. I would probably take my Avengers around the side and take out the orbital fabricators first.
Oh yeah, those are still on the lava planet, running away, seeing what they can do. Let's see.
Another nuke comes in on the lava planet.
Oh wow.
Let's see if they hit the same spot.
Oh, it got taken down by an anti-nuke. That was unfortunate for Blue. However, once they get enough nukes, they can overpower the anti-nukes, because of course anti-nukes can only hold 3 anti-nuclear missiles in capacity. Looks as though the fabricators on the metal planet might be going to build a second catalyst, although they are being diverted somewhat. Oh, they're just going for a lot more power. They could really be building a lot of catalysts, although there is one queued up there after the second one is produced by all of these fabricators here. So once these catalysts, all 5, are produced on these little points here, the team that controls them can launch the Annihilation.
Teleporter going down from Orange onto the metal planet, but the orbital fabricators get shot down, and the teleporter is easily dealt with.
That's true. Another nuke gets launched from the Blue team, going for the lava planet. We can see there in the picture-in-picture as that teleporter gets taken down.
A nuke from Orange.
Oh wow! So let's have a look at the Orange base, as we also have a look at the Blue base as the Orange nuke arrives and the Blue nuke leaves. Oh no, the Orange nuke is going to the metal planet, not to the Blue base. So
we got 2 nukes headed to the lava planet from Blue.
One arrives, gets anti-nuked. There's only one more anti-nuke in that station. Let's see where the nuke is going to hit, although there is an anti-nuke station right next to it. As it arrives, it does get anti-nuked as well. Good plays there from Orange to defend themselves. Another nuke, though, flying their way, so they've really got to hurry down and assist out those anti-nukes, because there's a lot of nukes every few seconds, it seems.
Yeah, they are assisting their nuke launchers pretty aggressively.
Getting even more anti-nukes.
Oh, they moved. Okay, they've got a significant number of air fabbers assisting this anti-nuke, but they're all tier 1. so they're not going to be able to increase the the speed of building the anti-nukes by that much.
Although, having a look at the metal planet, I don't think they're going to bother with the nuclear option any longer, as we do see the 5th and final catalyst complete, and the laser is being activated.
Orange nuke coming in.
Does come in. Is it going to get anti-nuked? It will do. So that Annihilator is going to work against the orange lava planet here. Let's see from 2 different angles as it shoots across the system. This is gonna hurt. Oh my goodness me! That is Planetary Annihilation in a nutshell, folks.
Absolutely.
And it looks as though they cracked the nutshell.
That is the way to finish the game, right there.
That's a really good way to finish the game. Let's have a look at that again in Chrono Cam. Ouch.
Ouch. Indeed, ouch.